Look, I love to do stuff just to see what it's like, and I just did some stuff to see what it was like. I got to tell you about one of the wildest embarkation days I've ever had. It kind of went the way I thought it would, but it's important for people that come after me to know exactly how it went. Yeah, join me for the tale of the embarkation day that wasn't quite like the others. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, and I gotta tell you, cruising has returned to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the first time in 15 years. Now, I knew that cruising was returning to Philadelphia for the first time in 15 years, close to 18 months ago. Talked about it on my cruise show. And I said, you know what would be great to do? Let's see what that's all about. Now, I didn't think it all the way through. A lot of times when they're doing things for the first time, it's not the smoothest thing. But I said, let's do this. Let's have a little bit of a La Lido Loca group cruise and see how many people we can bring together to cruise out of Philadelphia for the first time in 15 years. And that's what we did. We gathered up 170 of our bestest friends, the Loca fam, and we made our way to Philadelphia. Now, what we understood at the time 18 months ago is that Philadelphia would be building a brand new cruise terminal to accommodate the Norwegian Jewel, the first cruise ship to sail out of Philadelphia in 15 years. And it was a Phillyport. That's what it was going to be called. Well, a few months ago, we got a letter saying that, guess what, everybody? I got to put the fan on for this one because this was hot news. They said, guess what? The Phillyport's not going to be ready, and instead we're going to have to come up with an alternate way for you to get on the cruise ship. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly the things that happened to me on embarkation day, and then I'll come around at the end and tell you how long this all took. The steps were outlined in an email. They said, look, we're going to have you show up at a hotel. We're going to check in your luggage. We're going to check you into the cruise. Then we're going to put you on a bus. Then we're going to take you over to the cruise port. Then you're going to go through security and you're going to get on the cruise ship. And well, that's pretty much what happened to me. I stayed at the Club Quarter Hotel in the Rittenhouse area of Philadelphia. Highly recommend that hotel. Highly recommend that area. On the day of embarkation, about 9:30 in the morning, I jumped in an Uber with my wife, the lovely Jenny B, and we took an Uber to the Clarion Hotel at the airport in Philadelphia. Now, this was the meeting point for the check-in. It was crazy over there because everybody that was disembarking from the cruise ship was getting let off at the Clarion. Not everybody. If you had an airport transfer, I'm sure not in that bunch. But if you, had to do other things, take an Uber, do any other kind of transportation, they were bringing you by bus to the Clarion. It was very organized in a chaotic kind of way. There were people directing traffic. There were Ubers dropping off. There were buses dropping off. There were Ubers picking up. There was a lot going on. But we got out of our Uber. They pointed us to a Penske truck where we were able to give a porter our luggage, our checked luggage. And then immediately we went into the hotel. We talked to a Norwegian employee there and they told us where to check in. We snaked our way to a ballroom. We checked in. That happened very quickly. And then they said, look, now what happens next is we give you a ticket for the bus. And so we received a ticket for the bus. We were bus number I, and we took our ticket and they directed us to a ballroom and they told us to sit and hold tight until they called bus I. And so we did that. We went and sat in a nice ballroom. They called bus I. We got on the bus. We went to the cruise port. We went through security and we got on the cruise ship. Those are the steps that you will go through if you're cruising out of Phillyport. I do want to tell you how long it took for us and how long it took for others. But first, I want to show you this. Now, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, MyHeritage. Last year, Jenny B and I did one of the coolest things ever. We did a DNA test to understand where we come from in the world, and it's really enhanced our travel experience. Let me throw it back to when Jenny B got her results. Did the DNA test from MyHeritage, and now the results are in. Let's see what Jenny's results are. Oh wow, check this out. This is cool. Ashkenazi Jewish, 69%. Wow. Portuguese, wow. 11.9%. 10.7% Spanish, Catalan. I don't even know what that last one is. Oh, I love that it shows you the globe. South and Central America, or South Central America. And wow, Some African.
That's wild.
Another cool feature from MyHeritage is they have a DNA match. So after you've submitted your DNA, you can find out potentially whole new family members.
How cool is that?
It's pretty cool, past Jenny B. MyHeritage, they don't sell any of your genetic data. They've got a really nice website, really nice web app where you can track your results. You can get it for $19. If you scan the QR code that's on the screen or use the link in the description, use my code LOCA19, you can get started with MyHeritage for just $19. Mother's Day is coming up, and MyHeritage is a pretty great Mother's Day gift. Thank you, MyHeritage, for sponsoring today's episode. All right. So you know... Sorry, the tail animal's eyeballing me. All right, so you know the nuts and bolts of the process. Let me give you some times. So we left the Rittenhouse area of Philadelphia, I would say it was like 9:30, 9:45. We got to the Clarion Hotel at 10:30, and we went through the check-in process. We received our ticket for our bus probably by 10:45, and then we took a seat in the ballroom, and we did not leave the ballroom until about 1 p.m. And so we sat there for a good, 2 hours waiting for them to call our bus. Now, fortunately for us, we had a seat and we were able to, hang out there. This is the first time that they've tried this process. They did a good job of keeping everybody updated, at least in our circumstance. They let us know that there were some people still dealing with getting off the cruise ship. There was some luggage that needed to make sure the cruise ship had to be completely emptied out before they could bring the bus number 1 over there. And so finally, close to 1 o'clock, we boarded bus I and we headed over to the terminal. 15-minute, drive over to the terminal. We got out, we went through the security tent, and we went right on board. All in all, we were on the cruise ship by 1:30 p.m. So that's a 3-hour embarkation. And certainly, if you've cruised recently, you know that a 3-hour embarkation was that's pretty long. But when we went to the cruise terminal, we kind of expected it to be long, and so for us, I don't think it was that big of a deal. Now, what I understand is that shortly after we went through that process, others came and started going through that process, and then more and more people showed up at the hotel with nobody leaving, and then the process broke down a little bit. They ran out of letters for the buses, needed to print out more letters, and then people would check in and they wouldn't get a bus assignment. I heard people say that, they got there, they waited for a bus assignment, they never got a bus assignment, and then people that showed up after them were able to get on a bus before them. It was a little bit chaotic. Our group leader, our travel agent, Walter, he was on bus X, and I think he was like a 4 or 5 hour embarkation. It was enough of a challenge that the cruise ship left 3 hours late. We were supposed to leave at 4. I think we finally got underway at 7, and it made us late to Bermuda. We're here in Bermuda today, so we arrived late in Bermuda because the whole schedule got thrown off because of the embarkation. And look, I've talked to a lot of people that are on this cruise, and I think most people approached this embarkation process as this is going to be challenging. A lot of people heard what was laid out in the email and said this is going to be horrible, and I think it was better than maybe what many people expected. Some people had a really bad experience, but I do think that this will get better over time. Again, this was the first time they've done something. There's definitely going to be some lessons learned, I would think. The only thing that really concerns me is I've met a lot of people that don't really cruise, that jumped on this cruise, that live in Philadelphia, live in the surrounding areas, because this is a cool opportunity to do something like cruising. And I'm afraid every one of these people I've talked to, I'm like, hey, this is completely abnormal. You can't judge your cruising experience by that embarkation. I'm worried that that's going to be their one and only impression of cruising. So hopefully it doesn't turn out to be that. Like I said before, I can't think of an embarkation that has taken that long before. 3 hours. 3 hours may be the new record for me. In the arms of the angel, yeah, let me ask you that. What is the longest embarkation you've ever had to deal with? Hopefully seeing this process will be helpful to those that will be cruising out of Philadelphia over the next few months until they get the permanent cruise terminal in place. Big thanks again to MyHeritage for sponsoring today's episode. Hit the QR code that's on the screen to get yourself started for $19, which is really good. And yeah, like I said, Mother's Day is coming up, so get in on that. Please, if you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more. This is Tony for La Lido Look. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.